Mercedes-Benz's initial EV rollout plan didn't quite stick the intended landing, with designs that were off-putting for some and model names that simply confused others. Well, Phase 2 is now in full effect. Last year, we got the all-new G580 with EQ technology. Yes, that's the iconic G-Wagon electrified. And now we have this, the 2026 CLA with EQ technology. Electric now, hybrids coming next year. But this is the first ground-up new Mercedes model to ride on the brand's new MMA platform, so it really does give us a good look at the future electric experience coming to Mercedes-Benz's high-volume models. So, this is a pretty big deal. For 2026, the CLA no longer falls under the coupe category in Mercedes nomenclature, instead taking on the role of a true sedan with a larger greenhouse and a more voluminous cabin. Riding on the MMA platform, this new CLA will be offered at launch with two electric variants, the 250 Plus and 350 4MATIC. No more EQAs, EQBs, EQCs, EQSs. Instead, EQ hangs on for dear life at the end of the long new name. Next year, we'll get the hybrid models with simpler names like CLA 220, perhaps even AMG CLA 45. For $48,500, the CLA 250 Plus with EQ technology is your entry point into the electric CLA lineup. And that gives you a single electric motor in the rear that puts out 268 horsepower, giving you a 6.6 second 0 to 60 time and 374 miles of EPA rated range. To get dual motor all-wheel drive, step up to the CLA 350 4MATIC. That gives you two electric motors that put out a total of 349 horsepower for a 4.8 second 0 to 60 time and 312 miles of EPA range. All models are riding on an 800-volt architecture that uses an 85 kilowatt-hour battery that can be DC fast charged at up to 320 kilowatts or AC charged at up to 9.6. And all CLAs with EQ technology use a 2-speed automatic gearbox, so not unlike a Porsche Taycan or Audi e-tron GT, you will feel a physical shift into second gear once you get up to highway speeds. In typical Mercedes fashion, you can keep your CLA more posh looking with chrome accents and shinier wheels, or go the darker route with an AMG line package or a night package. Or how about one that combines the two? You can also choose how safe you want your CLA to behave by opting for either the Drive Assist or the Drive Assist Pro packages. The former is the company's steering and lane change assist combo, the latter adds stop sign and traffic light functionality, which gives the CLA more control in urban environments. Check back here in early 2026 for a deeper dive into that system. The third-generation Mercedes-Benz CLA sedan is the first product to offer the company's fourth-generation MBUX infotainment system, which adopts this continuous dashboard design featuring 3 distinct displays, so long as you opt for the optional passenger touchscreen. In front of the driver will always sit a 10.25-inch instrument cluster and a large 14-inch central touchscreen just to the right. The second 14-inch passenger touchscreen comes into play if you go for the Pinnacle line package. Luckily, adding Mercedes' lovely massaging function to the front seats can be done a la carte for $50 measly as a digital extra, but all CLAs come with a built-in selfie camera and the fixed panoramic glass moonroof. Normally, I don't have too much of an issue with giant touchscreens in modern vehicles. It is, of course, the way of the future, but I prefer it when they have a place to anchor my non-active fingers when I'm trying to touch something. So in this situation, I can use the top half of the screen, this lip here on the housing, to anchor my fingers while I use my thumb to tap items, but the bottom half, it's a little bit more tricky because of the gap between the bottom of the screen and the console and the fact that the air vents are shoved in right here. So obviously, the safest thing to do then would be to use the voice controls while driving, and luckily, they are now powered by AI assistants like ChatGPT 4o. And that means you will get much more accurate and natural responses out of the voice assistant. Hey Mercedes.
How can I help?
What would you recommend as the best mode of transportation for getting from here to Atlanta, Georgia?
I can't provide specific recommendations for transportation modes, but I can offer some general options. You could consider flying, which is often the quickest way to get from San Francisco to Atlanta. Alternatively, if you prefer a scenic route, driving could be an option, although it would take longer. Public transport like trains or buses might also be available.
Another new thing for MBUX is the fact that the map data is powered by Google Maps. So whenever you do a search with the built-in navigation system, you will get pretty up-to-date and accurate results. And of course, they will integrate your charging stops as needed when you are going on a road trip. So this infotainment system is actually usable. You don't need to go straight into Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but rest assured those are still on offer if you want to use them. At 5'9", the front seats are accommodating for me in just about every way. The car I'm testing is missing that $50 massage function, but these AMG style seats are super comfortable as is. There's plenty of headroom for me even with the standard fixed moonroof, and visibility is improved over previous generations towards the back thanks to additional daylight openings just past the rear doors that weren't there before. The new dashboard design does keep the view ahead pretty clear as well. The back seats are tight, but perhaps a tad less so than before. My ideal front seat position doesn't leave me much space back here for my knees, but thanks to the completely flat floor, footroom is a little bit more usable. Your knees will be a little bit higher up than normal due to that higher floor thanks to the battery down there, but it's not overly uncomfortable for your thighs. Or my thighs at least. Despite its petite exterior footprint, you are actually not missing out much on cargo space here in the CLA. Out back you have a trunk with 14.3 cubic feet of space, which is larger than most sedans, including Mercedes' own S-Class. But up front here we have a frunk with 2.5 cubic feet of space. And that might not sound like much, but this is actually a very deep space. With these dividers here, you actually have a very usable space to work with. These prevent things from rolling around, and they allow you to divvy up your cargo as you like. Overall, this is one of the more usable frunks I've seen, considering how small the vehicle is. It's time to finally see what Mercedes-Benz means when they call this the most emotional, efficient, intuitive, and intelligent Mercedes ever. This is the 2026 CLA 250 Plus with EQ technology. Because I'm only in the 268 horsepower version of this car, obviously power is not going to be as exciting as it would be with the dual motor all-wheel drive version, and of course not as exciting as the potential upcoming AMG versions of this car, but it does feel lighter than the weight would suggest. So off the line, of course, you're going to have that massive torque that you get from the electric motor, but it doesn't feel slow. It definitely feels adequate compared to my personal vehicle, which is a Kia EV6 with only 225 horsepower. Honestly, 268 horsepower at this weight feels actually pretty damn quick. So if you don't need all-wheel drive, this rear-wheel drive model will do just fine for you. And of course, you also get the best range out of this model, 374 miles, but Edmunds has tested this car on their own terms, and they were able to get well over 400. So, depending on where you live, you might actually see very impressive numbers in regards to range. And I'm currently stuck in San Francisco traffic, which means I can't really show you how fast this thing is, but I did get to drive it earlier in the twisties of Northern California, Napa Valley specifically, and obviously this thing is plenty powerful for those situations, and it's very nimble to drive. This has a very, very nice balance to it, and the side-to-side body rolls are very well controlled. It feels very flat in the corners. This is actually a very fun car to drive. I do wonder how much fun it will be when it has the hybrid powertrain under the hood, but for now, this does have the qualities of a typical electric experience, and it's all very solid. No awkward regen braking shifts. Like it's a very smooth and very polished experience. Obviously, we've had time with these Mercedes-Benz EVs, and so have they, and they've used that time to improve on the experience. I really can't wait to see this MMA platform applied to larger vehicles like that upcoming 2027 GLC with EQ technology. It'll be very interesting to see how that translates. I have to say, I think Mercedes-Benz is onto something here. The price is just about right, the design is the most cohesive of any generation before it, and the tech on the inside is approachable enough that the younger luxury buyers that they're going after shouldn't have too hard of a time figuring it all out. The CLA with EQ technology specifically is here to fill a gap in the industry that has been left open by the luxury automakers for far too long, and at large, I think this is a very promising preview of what's to come for Mercedes-Benz.